What's up, Hippo lovers? Easier to find me today. Couldn't really deal with the green screen. WTF happened in March 2023, obviously the month of NAC 4, and probably the thing that we will talk about the most. We had a 5-day group stage in an initially $100,000 tournament turned into $50,000 and turned back up to $87,000 main event due to contribution of the scene. Big storyline here was the dominance of Hera and Leary in the group stage, and the Viper having gallstones, spent one night at the hospital, and the next day he went again. Shaky group stage there for sure, lost 3 sets, 3-0, but came back into the bracket stage and looked pretty hot there, beating Winchester for 1, came back after being down 3-1 against Willisse. On the other side, we had the crazy performance of Hera 5-0ing Mr. Yo, who just beat Tato in a really good set as well, if you want to watch that one back. And then we had the crazy Hera versus Leary final that Hera won 5-4 with Flemish Revolution there in the end. Lots of controversy about that one, if the tech should be in the game. And we will discuss that a bit later. Hera getting close to $19,000 for his effort in the end. Also big storyline at the start of March was a Hera tweet where he said that there are massive delays for payouts for tournaments in the Age of Empires 2 world, and yeah, lots of people interacting there, lots of people can't believe what happened. He didn't really mention any organizations, but certainly something concerning and something that a lot of people were not aware of. That brings us to the, some final thoughts on NAC 4 maybe. Viewer count was at 42,000, I believe, the peak over all channels. Average around 13,000. NAC peaked at 25,000. So overall, a very, very liked tournament, I would say. Especially liked was the production, in the sense how memey it was. Also had the homey feeling and great competition. So feedback was really good there. Obviously, the big critics were Mem not being invited in the caster lineup, Doubt missing qualification, and maybe the flag situation with Winchester. But all discussed in previous episodes. And let's jump into Nations Cup, $15,000 tournament running right there. And we are down to less than 16 teams, I believe. Oh no, it should be 16 teams in the crazy double elimination bracket. As you can see, group stage going through here. I made a full video of that. And now we see that Argentina A beat Argentina B already. Vietnam A going through against China B, something I didn't predict. Chile A going through. Austria playing without Leary here, but I made a full video with all my predictions and I already was wrong at least once here, I believe. So you will take a look at that. We'll develop over the full next month, and something that you can certainly follow. And if you like 4v4 action, we have something else coming for you as well. 4v4 Black Forest tournament, where there are 16 team captains drafting their teams, and there are some crazy teams that you might not know that are basically designed fully out of Black Forest players that specialize on their settings. For example, Team Somero and something like Vala's team, something that you don't really have on your radar. And that already started. As you can see, teams are going through so far really close sets, which is kind of the goal, right? The captain that should be considered the weakest has the first pick. So all teams should be really close, and as you can see, 3-3-2s and 2-3-1s to start this one off. So pretty close action there. We will have a group stage and then a bracket over the next weeks. Also, the very big story is a massive patch expected to come out in April. People already have been playing the public version of it, the beta access. Obviously, this is not the final version. Lots of people giving feedback behind the scenes, developers taking that feedback and thinking, okay, what do we do with that? And major change is that infantry is tried to be more viable, more of an option, and we see a new upgrade called Gamsons, which gives you 1 pierce armor for your infantry. Also some balance changes, trying to obviously make the strong civilizations a bit weaker. Oil guns there for Portuguese are being changed. Also, Flemish Revolution is being changed. Let's maybe take a look at the first clip of the month here a bit earlier to discuss this. And I'm obviously discussing KOTD after this as well. And this is NAC4, Hera against Leary in the group stage. Actually, we had Flemish Revolution being relevant twice. Let's take a look at this one first.
He needs siege. Oh my god. 89 army, 0 eco for Leary.
But he's got one treb. He's got one treb. Is it gonna be enough? He's got a big old smile on his face, man. He
so
knows.
hard.
He knows.
Oh, he could hear the whole house screaming, I'm sure.
Can he make it? Look at Hera. He's walling at all of his trebs.
Oh, that's a perfect play, because if you defend from this, you win. You have actual economy.
Flemish into 2 castles, though, and Janissaries.
That's a lot
I
of
don't
army.
know if it's gonna. It is a lot of army.
The Jans are going to disappear.
They absolutely are.
The bombard cannons and the Trebs have nowhere to run.
72 military to 19.
This tech, though.
Oh my goodness! And look at, we got the monks moving forward for conversions as well. Who needs siege units when you're just going under the castle?
It's working.
I cannot believe
working.
it. I cannot believe it. He's chasing the Trebs away. Look at Hera. He's just trying to run him around in circles. Do what I can here.
Oh
my
my
out and Leary's
God.
victorious. No way that worked.
GG lol. And yeah, obviously lots of people saying, okay, Hera, you ended the game with 50 villagers against 4 villagers, just run back with your Janissaries and you can defend there. But easier said than done in those scenarios, obviously. And yeah, quite an interesting thing for sure. And for example, KOTD decided to not play with Flemish Revolution there. And although I think it's not really relevant for Arabia, right? I don't really remember that. Also, it was addressed with the balance change, right? So we are jumping between 3 topics now. It got increased if you have more villagers, basically is the basic cost, and the more villagers you want to convert into the Flemish militia, the more you have to pay. And KOTD, $80,000 tournament, obviously hosted by MemTV, starting in March and will basically dominate the whole March. And lots of people hype for that, kind of the one of the 4 big tournaments, if we include like KOTD, Hidden Cup, NAC, and the Red Bulls. And yeah, it returns. Lots of people really happy for that. And you can see way more Arabia coming up and lots of activity there on the ladder, grinding Arabia for sure after the 2 4v4 tournaments concluded, although they will overlap a bit there. Which brings us to another clip of the month, non-NAC related, and ACCM together with MBL got us covered.
Careful, 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 they see it!
He even in the background said, like, oh, I should not have looked at my market. MBL, obviously. So emotional in those situations.
Careful, careful, they see it!
Yeah, that was clip of the month, and that brings us basically what to look ahead for in the next month. It basically is Nations Cup. It basically is Rage Forest. If you're an Age of Empires 4 fan, right now, today, the $70,000 tournament is concluding there if you want to see the 2 best players face each other. But that's it from me. That's it from this month. Obviously, if you didn't catch NAC4, all the VODs there and highlight videos also coming up there on this very channel. That's it from me. Goodbye.